So here we are, 1 year later, and DriveClub is finally out. But did they use that year wisely? Was it really worth the wait? That's what we're here to find out. Let's first take a look at the main menu. It's actually very nice and neat. You can see easily where you need to go to start your races, which is Drive. You can take a look at your club, your profile, your garage, or even your settings. It's all very simple, and it's very neat. They did a very good job with that. Now you can see inside of your profile, you can see all your progression. You can see your driver accolades, which will let you choose between your vehicles, all the events, gameplay, locations, manufacturers, and game modes, and it gives you data on all of them. You can also view your driver stats, which again breaks it down between different categories like vehicles, tracks, and overdrives. It's all very nicely put together, and it keeps track of your stats very well. Even from this menu, you can view your club. Here you can see your club also has the same stats. You can view your stats or your accolades pertains to your club. And it keeps track of basically the same items. And again, it's very nice and neat, and it's very easy to find. They did a fantastic job on this part. Alright, now let's take a look at what you get under the Drive menu. You have your Tour, Single Event, and Multiplayer. Tour is basically your career mode, and they have it blocked out pretty easily. You start off on the easier races with all the slower cars like the hot hatches, and you work your way up through the performance and the supercars. The campaign overall doesn't take that long. It took me about 4 to 5 hours to complete all of the races, and I've already completed all of the stars. Each event has a set amount of stars. Some only have 3 stars depending on how many races. Some have 6 and some have 9. This one has 9. Each event has 2 stars, and then you get 3 stars at the end depending on how well you did in the total championship. Now once you select a race, you get to select the vehicle, and it automatically breaks apart the vehicles that you're allowed to use. So it's nice and convenient that way. Here we choose the Great Hennessy GT. You can see all the different custom paint jobs you can use, either one from your club, a custom one that you created, or some custom ones that were already made. And after you pick your paint job, you get to see the awesome walking to the car intro. Next we'll take a look at the single event options. Once you go in, you can either choose to do a race, a time trial, or a drift. Once you select the event you want to do, you choose where you want to do it. All of the tracks are beautiful, so you kind of just choose which one you like the best. Then you can choose all the different event settings. You can choose the number of opponents, the difficulty, the time of day, the weather, and then how quickly the time goes from night to day. It's actually pretty impressive. Next, the multiplayer. The part of the game that should be the bread and butter. But it's also the part of the game that's the biggest letdown. The multiplayer for the first couple of weeks didn't even work well at all. After multiple patches and server updates, they finally got it to where you could race online. But you still can't do stuff like send challenges to your friends. You can only do the face-offs in the matches. And as you can see, just getting into a match still takes quite a bit of time. Once you even find your lobby, it takes a long time before you can even connect. I won't even go through the whole process because it would be like a waste of time. And once you get into a multiplayer match, the gameplay is actually pretty fun. There's no lag, and all of the races feel just as smooth racing on single player and multiplayer. Now here you can see a gameplay clip. The driving is in between an arcadey feel and a simulation feel. It never feels too loose, but it never feels too stiff. I actually think it's a very good balance. In DriveClub, you actually have to learn how to brake around corners and actually drive like you would in a kind of a simulation kind of racer. You can't just go slamming around the turns. If you do, you can get penalized and lose a couple seconds, and it doesn't ever seem to help run any turn anyways. As you can see, the gameplay looks fantastic. So why don't we take a look next at just some of the more graphical details. Man, that Ferrari was beautiful, but the landscapes are just as beautiful. This game has an amazing amount of detail on the tracks, as well as the cars. And as you can see here, flying by the trees, you can also see there's tons of trees in the background, there's mountains, the sky is amazing, and the lighting is just phenomenal. The lighting, I think, is what brings this game to life the most. I mean, just look at that. And inside the car is fantastic as well. They put so much detail into making all of the gauges work, all of the fibers and materials inside the car and outside the car look just as they should in real life. And as you can see, all the gauges work properly. And as we slow down here, you can take a closer look at the environment and the inside of the car. You know, you have fully functioning mirrors. There's no need for that top bar that shows like your rear view, like it does in some other racing games. In DriveClub, you actually can use your mirrors just like you would in real life. You can see even the red dots showing your RPMs at the top of the steering wheel in the Ferrari works just as it would in real life. The sound as well is phenomenal too. You can't get much better than the sound in this game. All the cars sound as they should, and especially as you're driving and braking, and depending on the different view that you're using, whether you're under the hood or right on the ground or in the car, the sounds change. You know, if you're doing a view like this where you see right by the floor, you know, you're looking at the front of your bumper and you can even hear the turbo if your car has one. I mean, just look at that ground. Look how detailed the gravel is. You know, all the grass and all of the trees as you pass by. The blurring motion and everything is so fantastic. You can see all the flowers and the trees. Look how many trees there are. There are a ton. One thing that DriveClub does perfect are the graphics. I haven't seen any other racing game look quite as good on any console, on any generation. There's no doubt that this game looks like a PS4 game should. So what did we think of the game? We thought the gameplay was fantastic and the graphics were fantastic. But one of the main hooks of the game, the multiplayer, you know, from the start wasn't there. And it took them weeks before you could even play online. And even so, the lobbies aren't full, and it takes forever to get to the matches. It's kind of a letdown, especially with the amount of time that they took before they released the game. So that's why we give this game a 7 out of 10.